All right, I decided to just try and pull the whole clutch module out here to redo the bushings. I got some more bushings here. So from under the hood, there's just these two bolts right here. I'm going to take off. But first, come around in here. So here's the two bolts here and there on that bracket that are going into the engine bay there. And so what I'm going to have to do to get this off, those plus this other bolt up here. And then to get the pedal out of the way, I might be able to just take those bolts off and then do it. I guess that might be the easiest way actually, but I need to take this pin out here. So yeah, so if I get all that out, then this should just fall off. And then the clips I'm going to need to take out that are attached to this are these these two switches. So there's this little switch right here. So there's a little connector right there, pop off. And then this one down here too. So I'll pull all that off and see if it comes out. I already removed the spring there. You can see they used to be in here where the bushing right here got broken. So these bolts take a 12 millimeter. This one I was able to get to with a wrench. But this one here, I ended up with a joint going back to here. So it's kind of hard to get to some of these bolts. And it's out. Took me longer than I want to admit to get those 3 bolts undone, but here it is. This is the part, I guess, that gets worn. The bushing falls out of there and then the spring just rubs on it. Does look kind of worn, but I think what I'm going to do is just like glue the new bushing in with something like maybe some liquid nails or something, and hope that helps kind of cushion it. All right, I'll put some links in the description, but this is the bushing. I got this all from Yoda shop. This is the bushings for the clutch spring here, so the middle and the 2 sides. Got a couple new pedal covers for the clutch and the brake. And then this here, I wasn't 100% sure if I need all these, so I'll go over it again. And this is the bushing that goes on this hole here for this pin, which, oh, yep, it has one. So I guess probably didn't need that, but we'll replace that. And then these 2 here, I think, go in here. So we're gonna replace those and try and lube that thing up. Okay, so I already took this bolt off and replaced the bushings in here and lubed it all back up. I just used this white lithium grease. I don't know, it had some black grease in it and I took it apart. But the only thing you really need to lube up is the bushing, because it has the rod that gets pinched between here, and then it has the pin in the middle and then this outside thing here, and it's rotating just around the bushing. So as long as the bushing is super lubed up, then that's pretty good. And I was playing around with ways to get this spring back on here, so you can just pinch it by hand to get these 2 ends in, but then to get this piece on, what I did was I removed this sensor just so that I could get the pedal all the way down here, which is the minimum spring situation. So it does kind of like both ways. It springs, it pushes the pedal down this way, and then when you get halfway, it pushes the pedal up. So what I found to get it on here is I use these needle nose pliers, kind of like, I flipped it over like this, and then I use the needle nose pliers around it like this to get it on there. And you got to be kind of careful. The reason I'm putting the two sides in and then trying to get this middle part on is because the last time I did this, I broke the bushing because I was trying to do one side in and then the middle in and then the other side in, and then the middle was getting a lot of force and twisting sideways on the bushing. So this time I'm trying to do both sides first and then the bushing. So this is just a practice one. To get the spring back out, I think there's like a couple of ways. Put on some safety glasses and wear some gloves. One is to try and get the middle off first, which I think is going to be a little harder with the needle nose, so I'd use like this big screwdriver kind of a thing like that. And then the other would be to use some big pliers and pinch it in so that one of the sides falls off. I'm going to try this one here, and it's probably going to kind of like pop off here. Yeah, okay. So that wasn't too bad. I tried that when it was inside the car, and it just kind of like flew out. But that was with the pedal in a different position, so it was more sprung up. So here you can see, you might want to practice a little bit before doing the actual one. But I was just using these hook needle nose pliers or some sort of hook. I'm just doing it on one side. I tried to put it around it like that, but that was harder. You just kind of do it on one side and twist it up. So you want this thing, the pedal all the way down. You're twisting it up, and then there it is. So that's in place. And let's see. Actually, you can just kind of undo it that way too. So I think I'm getting a little better. And then from here, you can do it by hand, just undo the spring. So that's going to be the move. Now what I'm going to do is this is overkill, but I was just thinking maybe what would help keep this lasting a little longer is if I use some of this like liquid nails and glue. I'll clean this off real well and just glue the bushing in there with liquid nails on the back so that it's really got a little cushion, and maybe it'll last longer and it won't break. The last one broke, like the sides broke off and it fell out. So I don't know if it was completely worn out or what, but I think it's a pretty bad design. I wish it had more of like a soft metal with like copper impregnated with oil or something that would last more forever than this little plastic thing, but oh well. Okay, I glued the bushing in there now. So it might have been a bad idea because it might just make it hard to replace it next time. But we'll see. See if it makes it last longer or if it just makes it harder to get out of there. Okay, so I got the bushings all put in here. This one here, let it dry overnight, and then I popped the two new ones of these in. So, see this one, this can only really go one way. You can see it doesn't really fit that way, so it goes this way. Pop those in. Not too much grease in the end. Now Now this is the part where we got to get this spring into this. And I feel like I can almost do it with my fingers here. It's a little bit tough. So I'm going to try this method I had here before. Okay, there it is. So, looks like it's in there. So, it's got plenty of lube. Maybe I'll put a little extra just for good luck all around it. So now I've got to flip it the other way. Gotta be careful. Flipping it up. There we go. This one's a 14 millimeter. Now it's ready to go back inside.